Welcome back, Gadgetarians. So we have a wee bit of a problem here today. I've got Gavin's laptop computer. He has here an HP notebook. Now, I don't remember precisely what the model number is, so I'm going to flip it around and see if I can find that out for you. Let's see. Model number 15-B as in Baker, A as in Alpha, 009, D as in Dog, X. And this particular computer has a problem. So the issue that we're dealing with is when you power it up, it apparently thinks there's no hard drive. So let's go ahead and do it, and you can see the error message with me. And let's see what's going on. I'm thinking it's one of two possibilities. Either the physical hard drive has a problem, which I hope not, because I just put an SSD into this computer, so I would be very sad if that were the case. And number two, it's a software error. So it says boot device not found, install an operating system on your hard disk. Yeah, when we put the SSD in this computer, it took a long time. It was a very hard job on this computer compared to most, because the way we had to take it apart. So I'm not sure what's going on here. I think what I might do for starters, somewhere here I have a Linux bootable drive. So I'm going to test my drives and see if I can boot from Linux using a thumb drive. So I put a thumb drive in the right hand side. I'm going to issue a Control-Alt-Delete. I just want to see if the drive's actually there. Okay, so we can do Fedora 29. I'm hoping. We'll see. It did offer to boot directly from the media. I'm thinking this is probably USB 2.0. Okay, I don't expect it to be very fast. There we go. Hopefully we're in focus. If not, I apologize. So I bought this computer. I think I got it for $200 on sale originally. And it has a AMD APU in it, which does pretty good. The load times were a little slow, so we replaced the HDD with a SSD. And I'm really hoping I don't have to tear this thing all apart. So let's try Fedora. And we'll go to Activities. And we'll type in disk. Let's have a look at disk. Alright, so it is seeing the SATA drive. At this point, it looks like it might be corrupted. So disk is okay, 33 degrees Celsius, currently 91 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know if you guys can see that. It is a PNY 240 gigabyte. All that is correct. And it doesn't know what the format is. Well, it's NTFS, so it should know that much. So we know that the disk is showing up. I'm actually pretty happy about that. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to shut down. At this point, it looks like a software issue, but you know as well as I do, there's an excellent chance that there could be a controller error. And if that's the case, basically it means the controller on board may be having a problem, and it may have corrupted the file allocation table. So these SSDs don't really have a file allocation table, but they have to present one to the operating system, and whatever happened with that faux file allocation table may have screwed things up. So I'm going to power it up. I'm hoping this is a Windows boot, because I was thinking maybe I could do a repair. Otherwise, I'm going to have to do a clean install of Windows, which might not be that bad. But he would have to reinstall any games that he has and do that stuff. Okay, so with the thumb drive in, I see it looks like it's going to begin the Windows installer, but I really want to do a repair. That's my main goal here. So it wants to move right into Windows setup. Well, without actually setting anything up, I wonder if I can, do repair my computer. Let's look at advanced options. Fix problems that keep Windows from loading. It's worth a try. Startup repair couldn't repair your PC. Press advanced options to try other options to repair your PC, or shut down to turn it off. Well, I'm going to go into advanced options again and back to troubleshoot. Let's see what other options we have. System restore. I don't think it's going to be able to find a system restore point. Image recovery. Theoretically, there's an image on this drive. Let's try system restore. I think it's going to just tell me it can't. Not going to work. Now there is one other possibility, you guys. I'm going to slide this out. I have here his original hard drive that was inside his computer. I intended to give it to him and put it in an external case. So I never got around to that, so this drive hasn't been wiped. So I could try to boot from this drive, and if it'll boot up, then I could theoretically do a copy over to his SSD, and at least he would have his games. So this might be something I could try, and I think I will. So I'm going to find the cable. The thing is, usually these drives are not bootable via USB because of Windows, not because there's something wrong with the drive. But since it's using USB to boot and it's using it as a valid device, why not try it? Now, let's do shut down if we can find it. Yeah, turn off your PC. And what I've got is a USB to SATA, so it has power and data, or actually I should say power is the big one here, and then data is the smaller one, and USB on the other end. So I'm going to go ahead and have a look at this drive here and plug it in. He has this program called, this game called Kerbal Space, and he really likes it. So I'm thinking that if I could just do a recovery, he wouldn't have to reinstall it from Steam. And the hard drive that I have here already has the copy software on it. So let's go for the gold, see if we can get it to boot up. If it does boot up from the HDD, I can just use the copy software to copy his old drive to his new SSD like we did originally. It's looking good. Looking good. I always thought it was odd that Windows wouldn't boot up from USB. Hardly fair. I know there's ways around it, but I usually like to, have it installed. I've never had a USB drive that I use to boot from Windows, but if this works, I'll be very happy. And I can use the copy program. I assume I left it on the hard drive. Oh yeah, here we go. Your PC ran into a problem and needs to restart. We'll restart for you. Thanks, I think. Inaccessible boot device. How much do you want to bet it's actually the SSD that's causing the problem? Now, I've experienced that before where an SSD isn't bootable. So it complains, and even though the HDD is where you're booting from, so we're going to do automatic repair. If it wants to do an automatic repair and it gets me booted into the HDD, I will be very happy. That's my goal here. Still not sure what happened to this drive, why it is having a problem. I really hope it's not some kind of hardware failure. I mean, I'll replace it if I have to. I really hate to go to lengths to disassemble this laptop all over again. Oh, it's doing a diagnosis. I just feel so confident in Windows abilities. Not. Maybe I should just put Fedora 29 on there. What do you guys think? So I've got a couple of fun videos coming up. One, I have a mystery system that I actually shot a video of me unboxing it. Unfortunately, the video is such crappy low quality, I probably will reshoot it and just show you the computer and the changes that I've made to it and what I'm doing with it. The question is it an older system? Is it a Threadripper? Well, that remains to be seen. You'll have to stick around and watch the next video when it comes out. So let's hope it boots now. You know, it's not like I'm asking for much. Just need this computer to boot up. Pretty please. Pretty please. I'm thinking that we're not going to be able to boot up from this hard drive. It'd actually have to be in the computer on the SATA controller. Now this, I believe this one has a Windows 10 license for home, so I guess I could do a clean install and just reinstall his Steam game so he could have it back. And we're going to put back in the bootable Windows drive. All right, power up. We're going to do a Windows install. See if we can get this computer operational. I'll get the Steam login from Gavin and get his Steam stuff set up again, put his game on, because he really loves that game. It's fun, the Kerbal Space Program. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that on Steam, but you get to build a spaceship and then you fly it, and it's very scientific, so you have to think about weight, trajectory, thrust, gravity, wind shear, all these things, and I think they have a whole lot of fun doing it. You know, anybody who plays the game. Okay, here we go. So let's do next. I'm surprised it doesn't ask me which version of Windows, because I believe this one that I'm installing is professional when I have a key for home. But you know that, of course, these newer computers, the key is actually part of the firmware, so you don't really need the key per se. So maybe it detected it and it's just going to go ahead and run the installer. Now, if we have a problem installing this, then I'm pretty certain that we're dealing with a hardware issue on the drive or possibly the computer itself. I mean, I asked him if any fluids got spilled on it or anything like that, and he said no. Let's see. Upgrade. Install Windows and keep files, setting, and applications. Oh yeah. If a copy of Windows is already installed on this computer and you want to upgrade, remove the installation media and restart your computer. No, we're not doing that. Let's go back to install now. Then we have to wait again 5 minutes while it dinks around. If it wants to give me an error message like that telling me to reboot and run the upgrade inside Windows, I have no problem with that. But let me go back. Don't sit here with setup is starting and having to go through here and having to reselect everything. So, you know, it just wasted 5 minutes of my life. Okay, custom install, only advanced, drive 0, unallocated space. So it sees no file allocation table. We'll leave it selected. It should be able to deal with it itself, including formatting. If it doesn't install or he runs into a problem again, you know, within a few days, then we know that the drive's probably messed up. And that's not that big of a deal because it's only a month or two old, so I should be able to do a warranty exchange or repair. The part where it sits there and does nothing. Wow. Well, I have to remember, this is, after all, an AMD APU. So it's not like it's going to be all that fast. All right, well, I left it sitting there like it was going to prepare the drive for about 10 minutes. I actually got so tired of waiting, I shut the camera down and to save power for the battery. So I don't know what the heck is going on here. I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and click next and go to install now. And instead of just letting it go ahead with the installation, we're going to try to format it. It looks like we have a genuine hardware failure, so that means I'll be tearing this computer apart again and getting that drive out. I mean, I don't see any way around it at this point. Let's see what happens. So, of course, at this phase, it did take a while last time, I believe. So it sat here doing setup is starting. There's also a diagnostic tool built into the BIOS of this computer we could try. So I'm going to do custom install. So there's the drive. What I think is really weird is format. Oh, I guess I couldn't format. Let's do new. Full size. And see if it can even create a partition on this drive. And it looks like it's going to have some trouble. So basically, I think it was trying to create a partition and it froze. I believe that's what happened before. It doesn't tell you that, you know, you just click next, and if you do, it's going to go ahead and create a new partition on there, full size, do a format, and begin the Windows install. So you kind of get to skip all that stuff when you click next. But looking like the drive has failed. This is only the second SSD I've ever seen fail in my life. The first one was actually an M.2 SATA device in my brand new Lenovo computer laptop I bought, and that was years ago. And now this would be the second one, and I think it's definitely failed. The last thing I could try is boot into the BIOS and try to do a repair and see if maybe it can make a correction on the drive, which I don't have high hopes for, but I guess it's worth trying. So we'll go ahead and power up. La 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 la. Okay. F2, System Diagnostics. Hard drive check. I'm going to go with extensive, even though it can take a long time. Long DST warning, one warning. I don't know what that means. For more information, visit hp.com, go Tech Center PC Diags. Smart check passed. Okay, well, that's the case. I'm going to grab my bootable Fedora 29 drive. And we're going to boot into Fedora. We're going to try and get Fedora to create a partition on it and format it. All right, let's try Fedora. Close. Activities. I'll just type disk. And we got our 240 here. We're going to I wonder what the create partition image is all about. Well, it says unknown. Format. For use with Windows NTFS. We'll just type Windows Win. I don't like this keyboard. I've decided. Windows. Next. Warning, you may erase the drive. Well, unfortunately, I think we're going to have to go with the gold here. So it's thinking about it, but I suspect the exact same behavior to occur. It basically will not be able to format it. So we got the spinning icon here as well. Kind of like Windows with the hourglass. Okay, we actually got an error. Error formatting volume. Yeah, I got an input-output error, so I really think the controller's hosed on this. So I think I know what my mission will be, unfortunately. So I'm going to power this off, and I've got to relearn how to get that drive out of there. Yuck. Just a lesson for the wise. I just did a chat with PNY. Now, I asked for a warranty RMA, and they said upload a image of the receipt and they may give me a new drive. And I jokingly said, LOL, of course you can't give me a RMA for this drive unless you have the receipt. And then I was just about to begin typing, is there any way you could see how old it is via the serial number? But before I could do that, he put in, because I had sent him the serial number, he put in the chat, the serial number is irrelevant. And he gave me a link and said, when you find the receipt, send it to us on this link, and then maybe we'll be able to help you. And then the chat disappeared in the website, so I can't even show it to you. And what's even funnier is now I'm unable to chat with them. So my chat privileges on the PNY website apparently have been revoked. You've heard it here. So I don't recommend PNY SSDs unless you accept the fact that essentially, if anything goes wrong, that's just too bad for you, unless you have kept the receipt, and you still might not get a new drive. Through the magic of editing, it's been a day, and now we have the Kingston 240 gigabyte SSD in A400, which we'll be putting in. But in order to get this in, I need to get a backup from the original drive. So what I'm going to do is try to put the original drive in temporarily so that I can get a backup from this, and we'll go from there. Alright, so I used Macrium Reflect, which is free for home and commercial use, to clone the drive. So what I have here is the Kingston drive hooked up to the USB via a SATA to USB cable. And I put the hard drive in temporarily, the old HDD, so that I could do the clone, and it looks like everything worked out really good. It did take an hour and 31 minutes, but at least this way he's got his Steam games and he doesn't have to go through the reinstallation and all that stuff. So what I'm going to do now is shut the system down. I'm going to take out the old HDD. I'm going to put the new Kingston drive back in, and, well, I shouldn't say back in for the first time. And once I do that, I will test the Kingston SSD. All right, the deed is done. We've got the new SSD inside Gavin's HP. Hoping the new SSD is going to last a while. Just a note about these PNYs. Now, this is model number CS900 SSD. If you have one of these, I hope you don't have the problem I did, because tech support was very dismissive. They will not give me any warranty information, even though this has a 3-year limited warranty, unless I can send a picture of the receipt up. So if you have one of these and you don't have the receipt, you do not get a warranty, at least with that tech, which is really a bummer. Luckily, I only paid about $50 for it. Now, the new one I have in there is the Kingston A400, so we're hoping this one is going to last a little longer. like maybe 4 or 5 years. I hate to see an SSD that burns out in, you know, just a few months. It's really quite a bummer. And this computer, this HP, is a real booger to get into. It was quite a pain. So second time I did it, I don't want to do it again. Hopefully everything will be okay. It was no fault of Gavin's. It was just a controller failure more than likely inside here, and there's nothing you can do about it. All right, that's it. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, you know what to do. I'll see you next time. This video was made possible with support from viewers like you. If you find this video useful, consider becoming a patron for as little as $1 a month at patreon.com/FastGadgets.